So this is going to be a very impromptu recon of my 165 average. um, I'm currently in the University of Massachusetts. It's a bit of a long story. And this is a horrible angle. I'm not even going to edit this video, but hopefully someone can enjoy this. So the first scramble has quite a few blocks on it, as you can see. And I wasn't really thinking, I don't really know what to do. My kind of classic tendency is, because I can one look pretty fast, is to just sort of look at random stuff, not really assess what's good and then panic. But luckily I kind of kept it cool and realized that red would be the best way to go, because you can start off by solving this like kind of center that's sort of nothing, and then you have these two blocks which you can just solve in either order. Check both orders up. Doing this one first is better because it gives you an L3E that's like really nice. I was gonna do it from here starting with B prime, but that was kind of hard, and this way set me up really nicely for tips, so I kind of did these three tips, then R prime U, RY prime, and then that L3E. Second solve, so that was a 139, which is a really good start to an average. Obviously I was thinking about world record, which is never good, and that kind of got in my way on this scramble, which after the really good start, I was kind of maybe not quite prepared to see something with like nothing insane, but there were a lot of like these bars where it's like you can do like LR or something to create an edge. So I knew I'd find a good V, but I sort of like checked a bunch of stuff. Wasn't really sure exactly what was great, but I ended up settling on, where is it? Here, on yellow. You can actually do like this, solve the center first and then do like a U, solve these in either order, and you can get a sledge. But I either didn't see it, I don't think it was great, I don't really remember. But here, I decided to go L prime to solve the center, move this edge to here, R to fix that center and move the edge up to here so it was solved. And then I just, solving the center, it removed the opportunity to easily use that, but then it moved this edge up to here so you could do UR. And then that gave me an L3E. So I think in hindsight, it would definitely be faster to do it from here and do R prime L U B, U prime R U, R prime U, but I instead went for this way, which was still pretty decent. Did these two tips, L prime B U R to solve the V, and then insert it into the back like that, which is slightly awkward, but I think I still should have done a lot better than I did. I got I think it was a 189, might have been 187. Rare instance of me not being too sure about that, which goes to show how much I really consider this average compared to my past ones. Cool, so the third one was like one of the ones where you just see one of the common patterns here, with the three mover where you just do L prime U prime L to solve the V, and that's all you really want to think about. You have this easy six mover that's extremely easy to predict, so that's the only thing you should really do. I did kind of spend some time priming myself, because this is where I tend to screw up in competition, these sorts of moves. So went in, tried to do all three tips, then R prime L, realized this one was unsolved, and then kind of had like a weird flail where I was like trying to solve this and do this, and I didn't really have a stable hold on the cube. I was doing that, and then like I was doing my AUF, still trying to fix the tip, do the AUF, fix the tip. It was like really weird. And so that made it to 19. So at this point, I thought the average was kind of screwed, because like my last two solves have been 1.8 and 2.1, which is like not good. And obviously now world record's 155, so that's hardly up to par these days. So then on this scramble, I actually had a very an inspection I wouldn't really recommend following, because I was just sort of looking around, looking at every possible V I could find, just like kind of freaking out, not really knowing what to do. And I've kind of talked as if I did this a bit on previous solves, but the previous solves I actually did a pretty good job. I was like really focused and in the zone. I was just mainly thinking of this one where literally like 8 seconds passed, still hadn't picked an orientation. And then I decided to go back to what I looked at the beginning, which was over here, because obviously you have this block. And I was just looking at green, and I couldn't really see any way of preserving it, because like if you start by solving this center, there's like nothing you can do with the other ones other than like plain inserting them, which is really inefficient. If I start with like, yeah, just it didn't seem good. But on a whim, I saw that I had this piece like an IUR prime away from being solved, like an ochre. So I just, like right before I put down the cube and started the time, I decided I would go RL prime and do like a wide move down here, do IUR prime to insert this. This edge was solved, so I knew I could do U prime R prime hedge, and it would be like, okay, I had no expectations for this solve. And since I already had the bad solves, I was like, okay, I'll probably just counter two and ruin the average. So I did these tips, IUR prime, U prime, R prime hedge, and it ended up being a 153, which is actually quite good. So I was you can see I'm slightly surprised in the video, because I thought I'd blown it, but yeah, that was a pretty satisfying moment. And then yeah, the last scramble. Usually, I like yeah. I'm very experienced in going into the last solve of what has the potential to be a good average because I've had a lot of WRBPAs in my time, and as we all know, I've only gotten world record once, so I usually don't tend to perform well on them. But I saw this and I was like, okay, this is easy. Like 2 move V into a good case. What else could you really ask for? So I saw this bar, this edge. I was thinking of doing like L prime UI U prime into ML3, but that was kind of too risky. And the main way of doing it was so nice that I was just like, okay, do these tips B prime L, go into it. What could really go wrong? So I did the tips B prime L, and then went into that. But actually, what happened on that solve was I kind of like it was kind of on pickup and kind of in the transition to L4E. Maybe it was the tips. There was like a weird. I didn't have a. I kind of screwed up my pickup basically and did like a weird U prime U somewhere, and it was I like because like with a scramble like that, if you really flow into it, you get like a really nice single with super high TPS. But I kind of blew my shot to do that with like the start and like completely screwed up the scramble. But because it was so good, I just like powered on anyway and still managed to get a 1.5. Um, yeah, that's the story of how I got OCR average after a ridiculously long time. And I hope to be back with another reconstruction of me breaking my PR again. Hopefully some 1.6 or something soon. Like, yeah, comp coming up pretty soon. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, even though it's not very great quality. And make sure to shop at Speedcube Shop with code Jasper.